once transition goals have been written, the next step for the IEP team is to determine, Julie, what special education and related services are necessary to meet those goals. Just as with any other IEP goals, for transition goals, we want to know what do we need to provide the student in order for them to meet those goals.
So for an example, if you had an IEP goal that determined that your child needs to learn how to go grocery shopping independently and to be able to not only get everything off the list, but then go through the grocery line and pay for it and all of the things that you do when we go grocery shopping, those services that might be attached to that goal might be transportation.
Right.
And, well, pretty much transportation in that one.
Yeah, transportation. It could be there's a consultant that's necessary to provide transition consultation for services for your student. It could be any number of related services, and you should check out our segment on related services to familiarize yourself with the panoply of related services that are contemplated by the IDEA. But many of them are really focused on those transition services, teaching students what they need in order to get to that next stage of life, adulthood. So it's important that the services are outlined in the IEP, just like with any other services that your child might be receiving.
Right. So another example might be travel training.
Right.
If your child needs to learn how to negotiate their way from home to the grocery store, then to work, or back,
public transportation.
Public transportation. That service would be travel training, and depending on your state, it could be called different things, but it is those set of services that are many times and oftentimes provided by outside agencies, and sometimes not, depending upon your state and the town that you live in and the school district that you have. It's those set of services that are going to provide the child with the tools to learn that skill.
And I want to bring up a point on outside agencies, because when you're talking about transition services, very often there are outside agencies that are providing some of the service, and it could be another state agency, it could be a private consultant that the school district hires to serve as the agency that supervises or implements some aspect of a child's IEP. The thing that parents need to understand is that ultimately the obligation, the legal obligation to make sure that those services are actually provided is still on the school district. So just because the school district decided that XYZ agency from the state is going to be implementing this portion of the IEP doesn't mean the school district just washes their hands of the obligation. In fact, it's the opposite. They still have that obligation to make sure it's happening. And with outside agencies, very often, unfortunately, I've seen this more often than I'd like, it doesn't get done sometimes if it's a state agency, and they may not be as accountable for the implementation of the IEP as the school district is. So many times I'm at an annual review and we find out that some aspect of a child's transition services that was assigned to some outside agency just haven't been done all year. And it's not the case that the school district can just say, oh, well, that was their responsibility. They actually have to make up for that because it was supposed to be provided.
Right. The ultimate responsibility is on the school district. They're the people who are responsible for the IEP, the Individualized Education Program, and the set of transition services.
That's right. So as a tip, if your child's IEP has some service that's supposed to be provided by an outside agency other than your school district, and it's not being done, you need to let your school district know, because it is their obligation. And many times parents just figure, well, this agency isn't doing it, I guess I'm out of luck. Well, no. Let your school district know, let whomever chairs your child's IEP teams know, and do it in writing and as frequently as necessary to make sure that someone from your school district is actually ensuring that that IEP is being implemented.
Absolutely.